You know that saying, long story short? Yeah, never heard of her because I always give short story long. You guys, welcome back to the opinion you didn't ask for. I'm Hannah, and today I'm going to admit a fun fact about myself. I am obsessed with voting on people's Instagram story polls. I'm obsessed with it. I cannot not vote. If there is a story with a bubble of like, help me choose, and there's like multiple choice, I will pick one. Or if it's left or right to like pick a rug or baby names or whatever it is, I cannot help myself. Even if it's something I have zero knowledge of, zero interest in, I will vote. That's just a fact. And one night I was voting, like I was scrolling through and I voted on something, and my husband's like, "Do you know her?" And I was like, "Oh, absolutely not." But I had to vote. Like, she asked, I answered, she's welcome. That's just a fun fact about me. So, like, if you have a poll in your story, I'm begging you, just tag me, just send it to me. Nothing would bring me more joy than to vote on that poll. Absolutely nothing. And then if there's like a opinions box or like, give me your advice on this or what would you do in this scenario, I will send something. A few sentences, maybe a paragraph. I have often like maxed out the letter count that you're allowed to put in. It's truly just a problem. But one day I was scrolling through Instagram and I was tapping through and I got to this girl I went to high school with story, and she had gone to nursing school. She's been a nurse in a hospital for the last few years. And so she was like, help me decide what I should do next. And there were 3 choices. It was like, go back to nursing school or get your master's or something with college. And then it was like cosmetic nurse for like Botox and stuff like that, or be a traveling nurse. And so I was like, oh, those are all 3 fun options. Like, I wonder what she'll do. But for some reason that day, I was like, today I'm gonna change. I don't need to vote. She does not need my opinion. I am turning a new leaf. I am becoming a different person. Like, I'm not voting. So I don't, and I tapped through her story, but the next slide was a box that was like, if you voted, tell me what you voted for and why. And I'm like, man, this girl is testing my willpower over here. But I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I didn't vote, so I clearly can't put anything in this box. So I kept tapping through. I can't tell you how many stories I tapped through. I don't remember one of them because all I could think about was the story I did not vote on. I may have some like disorder, like ODD or OCD or one of those 3-letter things. Like, I may have one of those. Or my husband just calls it nosiness. Whatever. I have it. I tap all the way back to her story and I vote. And I was like, okay, that's good. I voted. I can move on. But then I had to tap back through the stories, which the next one was like the tell me why box. And I just lost all self-control and I was like, well, here I go. And I didn't intend for it to be a novel, but it was like this long paragraph of why I voted for what I voted for, which was traveling nurse, not that it matters. But I simply just said, pick the one that you will regret not doing. Like, one day when you look back on your life, is one of these options something that you can't do later on that you're going to wish you had? Because she's not married, she doesn't have kids, so she has freedom, she has choices. And, sometimes when you get married and start having kids, you're not as capable of, up and moving your family across the country or going back to school. And I mean, everyone can do whatever they want, but it's not normally as convenient. So I simply was just like, pick the one that you would regret not picking. And I sent it, and I was able to like check it off in my mind, and I moved forward with my life, not thinking about it. I didn't expect a reply. I just had to do it and then move on. Well, a few days later, she messages me and says, "Sorry it took me so long to reply." And I was like, "Girl, I did not expect a reply at all." But she was like, "I wanted to thank you so much for what you said, because out of everyone that messaged me, what you said is what I'm going to do. Like, that advice is what I needed. And so thank you so much." And I was like, me and my opinions, like, I am out here doing the Lord's work. Girl, you are welcome. Okay, you're welcome. I am here to help. That is what I'm here for. And so she probably moved on from that. But after she messaged me that, I, for weeks, couldn't stop thinking about what I had said to her, because I realized when I was younger, I needed someone to say that to me. Like, I always did what was expected of me. I have always been the air quote, like, perfect kid. Like, I was obedient. I was never late for curfew because I didn't leave the house a ton. Like, I was just very responsible, and that was like this pride my parents had in me. And so I've never wanted to disappoint people. And when I was in high school, I was graduating, I was expected to go to college. It was just expected of me. No one in my family has gone to college. No one has graduated with a degree. Like, why was I suddenly like their pride and joy for a college graduate? No idea. But my dream was to graduate high school, move to New York City, and be a nanny. And I wanted it so bad. I did research. I found agencies. Like, I was finding what areas were safest to be living in. Like, I wanted to go to New York City and nanny. And my parents didn't even give that a second thought. Like, that was just not an option. And so I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers or cause any problems. So I was like, okay. It wasn't so much like if I'm going to college, it was just pick a college. Which I don't know where my parents got the idea that I was their college kid, because school, not my thing. Like, took the ACT twice, got the same score both times. It wasn't an impressive score. My high school essays, for legal purposes, I'm going to say my sister helped me write them, because I don't need my high school revoking my diploma. But my sister helped me write every single essay, or I would not have probably passed, because it would be like 4 pages on this topic. And I'm like, I wrote 20 sentences and I think I can call it good. So like, she would go and fluff it up and extend it and make it really wordy. And that was just not my thing, but she was really good at school. So like, my parents would make her help me with all my homework. So once again, why was I the college graduate, like, put on this pedestal of like, you will go to college and bring our family pride? Like, I have no idea. You guys knew what you were getting into with me. So I did. I went to college for 1 whole semester. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. Slept through so many classes. Did not get good grades. I mean, I got the letter in the mail and I didn't open it for weeks to find out if I like lost my scholarship that I had randomly gotten and if I was going to have to pay money back to the school, because I was positive I had failed. Like, I don't know what they were expecting of me. So what did I do after that? I went to hair school. I never wanted to go to hair school. I didn't want to be a cosmetologist. Zero interest in that. But if I was expected to go to school, I was like, well, it's hands-on learning. I hate taking notes and sitting through lectures, like lectures. Words are hard. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I can do hands-on. It's only a year, not 4. Like, okay, I think I can suffer through this. Like, I think I can do this. And it was honestly to have like this fallback plan. So like, I could get married, have kids, be a stay-at-home mom, but I would have this like random talent that like I could cut hair or do hair for my kids or maybe have a salon in my house one day. I never wanted that. But I had now kind of changed my goals and dreams to what was, I don't know, within the box of not ruffling feathers, not doing anything crazy. Like, that was just not something people did. And so I am now having this whole identity crisis because I'm like, if someone had told me this, I could have been like, sorry, I'm going, gone and done it. And if I hated it, I could have come home. Like, nothing would be forcing me to stay out there. But just to say I tried, just to say I experienced this new thing, and I didn't get that experience. And I kind of have felt the last little while after seeing this girl's options, that she had so many, I was just like, who would I be right now if I had gone to do that? Like, what would I have done? Because like, even in hair school, I would like take breaks from hair school and go nanny short term for families. Like, I still was passionate about it and loved it, but I just had to do it on a smaller scale so that, everyone was happy, that everyone was getting what they wanted. But I realized I was sacrificing like what I wanted to please people, which that has always been like a problem. And so now I'm a grown up and I have options, except I'm married with kids. So like, that's not something I can do. I'm like, bye guys, I'm going to go to New York and be a nanny. And they're like, but you're our mom. I'm like, yeah, but you don't pay me anything. So is this really that hard of a choice? But I mean, it would be. I love them. I love being a mom. And it's not even, and I felt guilty because it's not even that I don't love my life and that I don't love my husband and my kids are amazing. Like, there is nothing I would change now, but just having the choice, just knowing that I could have done this. So here I am having this whole meltdown. And one night I'm sitting at our kitchen table and I'm just like crying about it. And my husband's holding my hand while I cry that I never got to New York to be a nanny, like go to New York to be a nanny. And he's just like, you are allowed to be sad. Like, you are allowed to mourn the person you didn't get to be, that you had dreamt of being, for as long as you need. Like, there is no rush. But he's like, when you are kind of not over it, but once you've kind of like come to grips with it, he's like, I want you to find something that brings you that much excitement or joy and apply what you know now in your life, the lessons you've learned, the experiences you have had, and put that passion into something. Like, find something that brings you that much joy again. Which, God bless that man. He just really sees me where I'm at and doesn't try to be like, okay, so you regret marrying me, which he does jokingly say that. He's like, you wished you married some millionaire's son in Connecticut. And I'm like, yeah, that was the original dream, if we're being honest. But it's not the dream anymore. Like, I love ya. So I don't know, that's just been something I've thought about a lot. And it's made me realize that I think so often we feel stuck in where we're at. And whether it's a positive stuck or a negative stuck, like you hate where you're at in life, but you just don't want to ruffle feathers, or you love where you're at, but you just kind of want to have a change. I love people's, like, I don't even know, not redemption stories, but I love when people like up and change who they are. Like, they're like, you know what? I want to be someone different and I'm going to go after it. And I'm like, yeah, girl. Yes, you are. Like, whatever you need to do, you can have 1,000,000 chapters in your life book. Like, no one said you can only have like 5. Okay. You can have as many as you want, try as many things as you want, and figure out what fits you. Our neighbor who has like 9 million children, he's probably in his like 50s. Never asked, honestly. He's like a software engineer / cyber security tech guy. He just told my husband the other day that he's like, I'm actually going to go to law school because I decided I want to be a lawyer in his 50s. Like, good for you. Like, if you have a passion or a dream or you want to be somebody else, do it. And then if it doesn't work, that's also okay. but no one told you you have to like be in one box and you pick that box and you are in that box forever. Like, no one said that. I want to do a million things. I want to try a million different things to figure out what fits me. And I think that that's scary for some people, but you're cutting yourself short. You're selling yourself short. That's the phrase. Once again, words are hard. So yes, I think that it's just something that I guess I'm now very passionate about, is like, no one has to live with your choices but you. So make sure you're not going to regret them. And I want to teach that to my kids. I never want to be the mom that I have dreams for them and I project that onto them. I want to be the mom that has no expectations for them, because the sky is the limit. They can do and be whoever they want to be. Go move across the country, go to the other side of the world, learn something new, start a business, a tryout for a team, like whatever it is you want to do. I want to support you in that, because I want you to know that like you can always come home. You can always come back to your safe place, home base, start again. Like ground zero, we've got you. There is no like, well, you left, you did what we didn't want you to do, like, bye, figure it out. That's just not how I am with my kids. And my daughter is 6, but that girl's personality is out of this world, if we're being honest. Like, oof, she's only 6, and I like say a lot of prayers every day to survive. But I love her confidence, and I love her passion and how big she dreams, which every time she says something that is out of this world, my husband's like, I wonder who she gets that from. Like, yep, it's me. Hi. So one day she loves to like dress up, but she'll like change outfits and like wrap blankets around herself and tie them into different things. And she'll like walk the runway at our house. And one day she's like, you're going to watch me on a runway in Paris. And I was like, yes, I am. I am going to do that. You are going to be modeling your own creation, honestly, at this point. Like, I cannot wait. I will be front row, the loudest person cheering for you. Like, I will be there. I'm not going to, let her know her mom is 5 feet tall. So unless they really change the standards of supermodels in the future, like, I'm not going to be the one that rains on her parade. Like, she can figure it out. But I just don't ever want to be the person that, like, kills their dream. Like, there's going to be a lot of party poopers in their lives. Like, I had party poopers in my life my whole life. I still have party poopers that are just like, you dream too big. You expect too much from people. Like, just be content. Now, I will admit, I am never content. Ever. The word content and we are enemies. I will have a goal and I will reach that goal, and immediately I'm like, yeah, this isn't good enough. Like, this didn't actually make me that happy. I need more, because 20 minutes ago I decided my goal was now bigger. So like, I achieved what I thought I wanted, but now I want more. And it's exhausting. Yes, it sounds exhausting. It is. Like, I have flaws. I have things I need to work on, but being content is definitely one of them, because I always just want more, which can be good or bad. My husband, he's content at all times of every day, even when he shouldn't be. And I'm like, sir, let's have some urgency in this. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm content. So like, there's two sides, like too much, not enough. But at least I'm like, I'm going to try something new. Like, I'm going to be the person that like figures something else out. But it's also a flaw, because I'm never, like, whatever I get, I always see there's more to have. And then I feel like I don't have enough gratitude, which that is a whole other thing. I'm working on it, okay? I'm a work in progress. But I understand, like, my daughter will have people in her life that want to poop on her party. But I will not be one of those people, because I've experienced it too much in my life. And I want her to surround herself with people who also uplift her, who cheer her on, who want her to achieve the best things. When she was 3 years old, we went to my hometown to visit. It was fair week, and I went to lunch with a friend, and there was music on and my daughter just starts dancing. And my friend's like, oh yeah, I get it. And she looked her dead in the eyes. And at 3 years old, she's like, one day you're going to watch me on stage. And my friend was just like, yes, I will. I can't wait. And I just want her to surround herself with people who lift her up, who love her, who see her light and her passion, and they're not trying to tear her down. I think that we live in a world that is way too quick to like point out your flaws, point out things they don't like about you, why you're too much, that you take up too much space. Take up space. Be who you want to be and don't care what other people think of you. Because you're allowed to evolve, you're allowed to change and to grow. And I always tell my husband, I'm like, people that knew me in high school, they don't know me. People that knew me in my 20s, they also don't know me. Mid-20s, I mean up until like 3 weeks ago, I'm like, you don't know me. I am constantly changing, but I feel like over the years I've become like a better person, which is, I don't know, I think a good thing. The positives, like what you should be doing, is becoming a better person and version of who you want to be. And if you don't like the version of who you are allowed to change. Overnight, in a week, in a month, in a year, you could decide 20 minutes from now, like, I think I want to be someone different. You can be that. No one is in charge of your life but you. And when you look back on your life on your deathbed, are you going to be like, I'm so glad I didn't go after all those crazy big goals and dreams. That would have just felt silly. No, you're going to be like, I really wished I had traveled to this place, or I had gone after this career, or I had, I don't know, made these memories or experiences that you had thought about, but were too scared to go for. I think this is something that people struggle with. I personally have, is like disappointing your parents. They are not in charge of your life. You do not owe them the life they've dreamt for you. Like, I always think of kids who their parents are like, you will go to medical school and be a doctor. And they do it, and then they're just like, I never wanted to be a doctor, but like, here I am. Why would you dedicate that much time and money and energy into something you didn't care about just to please your parents? At some point, you gotta be like, I love you guys, but also no. Just know you can love me, you can cheer for me for whatever I'm doing, but like, you are no longer in charge. Sorry, not sorry. Also, if you live with them still, maybe, like if you're still in high school, maybe don't say that. If they're still paying for all your things, maybe tread lightly. Be respectful. But, I mean, if you have to get cut off and like kicked out to find who you are, maybe that's what you need. So, I don't know if I've reiterated how important I think it is to allow yourself to be who you want to be, but without comparing yourself to someone else, because comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's like a universal saying, right? You will always be comparing your lowest lows to someone else's highest highs. And people don't often talk about their lows. Me, I live to talk about my lows. If someone is like, Hannah, how are you doing? How have you been? I'm always like, do you want the truth or do you want me to lie? Because one time someone asked how I was doing and I was just like, oh my gosh, you will not believe. And like I went off, and my husband later was just like, you know, when people ask that, they're usually just expecting you to be like, oh, I'm good. How are you? And moving on. I'm like, okay, well, that's just not how I work. So like, if they want me to lie, I'm going to need them to not ask how I'm doing. Or I guess I now have to just be like, how truthful do you want me to be? Because it's been a bad week. Or I'll just be like, oh, all is great. Thanks for asking, and moving on. I'm just not like that. I will tell you every slightly inconvenient thing that happened to me. I am the queen of expectations and the queen of disappointment. I am constantly setting crazy high expectations, and I am constantly disappointed when they are not met. Also a problem. Work, it's like with, being content. I've got to figure this out. But I do think that there's like, I don't know, this point of just being able to say, things aren't good, or being able to be open and honest, but so many people don't. So you feel like a failure. You feel like you're the only one struggling in life. Like you feel like everyone else has their life together but you, when in reality, that's not the case. When people are like, oh, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's also turf, We don't know what's actually going on. You don't know if their perfect little life isn't real. You don't know if their perfectly mowed looking lawn, it's because it's not growing, because it's fake grass. Like, of course it's always green. If it's green in the dead of winter, that's not real life. So your grass might not be perfectly mowed. You might have some dead spots in your lawn, but work on your lawn. Focus on what you can focus on. As long as you're doing what you can do, don't worry about what other people are doing, because you never know if they have turf.